All right, good morning. Welcome to Vocal for Local. I'm Dub. I'm joined this morning by Kristen Goold, who is the founder of Warm Welcome FSJ. Good morning to you, Kristen.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate your time. Let's start with Warm Welcome FSJ, essentially a warming space for people who need it. Tell us about this and where this came from, this idea to do this.
Yeah, so I go to these biweekly meetings and we have people sign their name to receive honorarium for showing up to the meetings, and there's a lineup of people. Sometimes there's 60 people, and I'm handing a pen, getting them their name, and one gentleman walked up to me and he's like, "I can't sign my name. I lost my finger."
Oh, okay.
And I was, oh my gosh, and it really stuck with me. So then earlier this year, we found out that there wasn't going to be a warming center.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will be hard pressed to see that again. And so that's why I was like, I can do this. I can step out there and make the difference. So I'm going to. I have the time. I have the resources now. So I really want to take care of that community because, like, it's going to be cold and it's going to be freezing.
Yeah.
So, and I know what it's like.
Right, it's going to be that later today, even, for example, for the next few days. So what does this space look like, and kind of where is it? Talk to me a bit about that, because I think the previous one was like in a building. I don't think that's what this is in the same way, right?
No. So luckily, the building manager at Work BC, the Work BC parking lot, they let us go in their parking lot free of charge.
Okay.
So they've given us the space to be on private property to allow us to kind of run whatever we want to run, as long as we're following bylaw and we're following sort of health code things, because we are serving drinks and food kind of thing, but we don't really serve, we're not allowed to serve anything perishable. So it has to be non-perishable and no dairy. So it's in like two little setup tents, and we have blankets that go around to kind of make the heat last in this little space. But the best way that I could describe it is if you were like at the ski hill and you went and saw that there was like a group of people sitting at a bench and they all had hot chocolate or something. Like, it reminds me very much of sitting by the fire. So that's kind of the vibe. You're still out in nature. You can still see the snow falling. You can still feel it, but you can also be in the exact opposite and be completely warm and that's a really cool thing to experience. So I think there's a lot of people that stay. There's people that stay for the whole 2 hours because they enjoy that experience.
I see. So it's kind of only for a bit of time on the days you run. It's not all night or what have you, but it's time that someone who maybe doesn't have a home or has to spend all night outside or what have you, that's 2 hours where they don't have to if they come to the warming space, right?
And, I provide them with 36 hours. They can have up to 36 hours of hand warmers, of heat with hand warmers. I supply reusable hand warmers as well. And then making sure that they're heated from the inside out too, making sure that they've got the nutrients that they need and that they have the energy to function and not... because even when you're cold, it takes so much out of you, right? You go, you're outside and you go inside and you're like, so they go through that all the time and it takes a lot out of you. So to me, it's just like making sure they have the energy to get through the night. If they have to keep walking, if they, you have to get through the night. And if you have a hot chocolate and a cup, you can keep that cup throughout the night as well. They have lighters. If you need to burn the cup to create a little bit of heat, you can do that. Just for any kind of emergency situation. We also hand out emergency blankets. Anything that, the whole thing I say is take the warmth with them, because I can't be there overnight, but I can reach them at 8:00 at night when it's about to get cold and provide them with hand warmers, something warm to hold, and emergency blankets. And luckily with all the donations, warm clothes too, which is I think we had over 15 bags of clothes donated, and in one session, in one thing, it got down to 2.
Wow.
That's how many people came and utilized the donations. So it was incredible.
I mean, well, thank God they have those warm clothes now. So how many people can kind of fit in the, because you said it's kind of 2 tents you've got going around, and a fire, or like a propane
fire.
Gotcha. Okay. How many people can kind of fit in there at once? Is there kind of a max occupancy? Or?
Well, we have 2 propane fireplaces.
Gotcha. So it's 2 sort of spaces.
And so we have one that's for standing and one that's for sitting.
Gotcha.
And then, so realistically, at any given time, there could be about 8 people inside the tent, and then around us in the parking lot, there could be anywhere from 5 to 10 people walking around.
I see.
Like sometimes I think, like usually the busiest time is around 6:45 or 7 o'clock. People start trolling in around 7, and they kind of stay for because it starts getting cold around 7, right? So they'll come sit by the fire, and it's people have a little routine where they come get their drink, stand by the fire, chat for a bit, and then they go sit down, sit by the other fire but in that kind of space that's blocked off with those blankets, and they get the chance to really warm up, and then they walk away, and I feel like I made a difference.
How often is this space available for people? Again, you say it's usually like a 2-hour session essentially, but how many nights a week, kind of what nights a week is that happening? Yeah.
So right now it's Sundays and Thursdays from 6 to 8. We try, and since we've gotten busier, the busier we get, the longer we're going to stay out, or the earlier we're going to show up if we can. And the thing is I'm trying to put together with more volunteers, because we only need so many people to kind of run it. It would be wonderful if I could open more days of the week. I would like to be out there, but again, it's more being able to supply things with people what they need, and I can only do so much because I can only give them so much. So to be out there every day, it's like I can't give out hand warmers every day. All I can do is give out the coffee and tea and hot chocolate. But so I would love for this to grow into something that is permanent, manageable, and a precedent for the North.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk more about that and sort of the help you need, and if people can help, how they get in touch in a minute. I want to talk a bit about your story, because again, you sort of said I was inspired by this man who had lost a finger, but I mean, you have your own sort of story of having to live outside and maybe without a home in the winter time and whatnot. That also sort of led to you saying, I can make a difference now.
Yeah.
Because I've been through this before. These people are going through it now, correct?
100%. And the thing is, so for me, I was homeless for 8 months, living out of my car, living out of a tent, living anywhere I could. And there was times where it was -11 at night, and I'm waking up at 4 a.m. because I'm shivering cold, and I have to start my car just so I don't freeze. And then I have to shut my car off because you can't leave it running, because that's money, right? So when I was homeless, I had the ability to have a vehicle. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't.
Right.
And that's kind of where I feel a pull to really make sure people have at least a space, right? Because a vehicle can protect you from elements, but if you don't even have that, then just the indecency, right? Like having to hide underneath something, or it's just not fun. It's not, it doesn't fill you with dignity.
Yeah. But I feel like how long have you been doing this, by the way? When did the first night happen?
Yeah, November 2nd was when it started. That was the very first time I ran. So it's increased tenfold, and every single time I run it, it gets busier and busier and busier. Yeah. So it's obviously needed. I
was going to say, though, I feel like there's some sort of a camaraderie, a community that's coming up with this, right? As you said, people have a routine. So you must see some people all the time who come by for the warming space. Hey?
Yeah, every time I have my regulars. There's one gentleman who sits there for the whole 2 hours every time, and he's such a delight. He makes me laugh, and it makes me happy to see that he's sitting there comfortable and warm. So it is a camaraderie, right? Like when I came up here and I was homeless, I got access to a lot of support through the Women's Resource Center, the Friendship Center. So being able to do stuff like that, reaching out and getting that support, it made me want to offer that to my peers, right? Who I didn't even know you could do that. Oh, well, why didn't you know that? And I want to be able to share that information and try and make a difference, because not everybody chooses to struggle.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't work, I'm disabled. So when I was homeless, it wasn't a choice. Well, it was a choice because it was either I get into some like go in to do something completely different, or I choose to lose my home and have the things that I need, like a vehicle and things like that, right? So it wasn't a choice. And that's what I really want to reiterate to people, is that there are some people who find themselves in a situation out of pure survival.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we're all going to do what we have to do to survive at the end of the day.
Yeah. And
that's where I really want and share in that camaraderie, where it's like, people up north are tough because we have to survive.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of people who honestly are a paycheck or two away from being in the same situation.
Yeah.
So thank goodness this is available, and there are people willing to help out, right? So
yeah. And there's also opportunity for people like me who want to do good in their community. You know, it's not easy. You have to find the right, like, people to talk to and things to do, but it is possible to make a difference in your community, right? Like, I didn't think I was going to be able to make such an impact, but now that I have, I'm like inspired to make sure that other people feel that they can too, which is why I love the volunteering, because I love that feeling, and I want other people to have it too.
Absolutely. All right. Tell us again, for people listening who may want to come to the warming space, Warm Welcome FSJ. Right now, what's kind of the schedule and times that it's open?
So we're going to be out there tonight from 6 to probably 8:30. We're usually really busy on Thursdays. Thursdays is kind of the busier day.
Yeah.
And then as well, we're out there Sunday. Sometimes on Sundays, we're out a little bit earlier at 5 to take in donations before we start setting up. And then, you know, hopefully as things go on, with more volunteers, because it's just hard to stand outside in the cold, right? So the more people that we can kind of switch out and give breaks, and we can be out there for longer, and, you know, just try and make a difference.
And again, this is in the Work BC parking lot.
That's right.
You happen to have the address or even the cross street on you?
It's like 9907 99th Ave, I think, something like that. Yeah. But it's across from the shelter, and it's kitty corner from the library.
Okay.
So and right by Action Property Management. So on 99th Ave there, we'll be there, and the people at Work BC are extremely supportive of it. So if people wanted to donate, I bet you they could even go into the Work BC office and they would hold those donations for me. And yeah.
All right. And then finally, in that regard, if someone wants to donate, whether they have time or if they have clothes, if they have cash, whatever it happens to be, they want to find out more, what's the best way to get in touch?
So contact me directly. Keep it simple. 250-262-9577 is the best way to reach out to me. Call or text, doesn't matter. And yeah, I would look forward to getting more people involved in this feel-good thing I am starting for the community, because it makes a big difference, even just in the volunteers. Like, everyone wants to show up because it makes them feel good. And that's, like, I want to share that with people.
Absolutely. Well, Kristen, thank you so much for making some time for us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you.
You're very welcome. That's Kristen from Warm Welcome FSJ.
Join us next Thursday for the next edition of Vocal for Local, brought to you by the Fort St. John Co-op. If you have a small business and would like to be featured for free, call us at 787-7100 or email reception@moose